Right, boys, welcome back. So, a lot going on, lot to talk about, I guess, haven't we? There's a few things I want to go through. I think the best way to segue is like Yatesy, you went rogue on us and just decided your own thing. What's going on?
Of course, I wanted to speak to someone, and now nobody else is doing anything, so I decided to speak to myself.
He saves his best for that United from
Some
abroad.
some bites off some Newcastle fans today. It's been great.
I was looking at some before, and one was saying like a plastic United fan or something like that.
Oh, it's been great. I literally sat downstairs all afternoon on my phone, doing some work on my laptop, scrolling through fucking.
Giggling to himself like Muttley from Wacky Races.
They've had a bad year in Newcastle, so
Right. We'll get on to that. We'll get on to that.
Yeah.
But in the conversation, the conversation in New York, it's all about United, right? And kind of up to date stuff.
yeah, it's like just literally just after a game, I'll watch the game back, take some stills, and do some like analysis of it, and just talk shit about United. Really, a good shout out from Dev FC today.
Oh,
really? He wants to watch my stuff, so
decent, man.
See what he says.
Dan the tactic man.
Jesus. We all should have spin-offs from this to help this.
Right, you could all do it together. The 3 Liverpool fans, or 4 with Judge.
Well, these are all class clowns. I don't know. That's something thought about tactics. Let's be honest. Yeah. So we can keep it up on the transfer. You got all the transfer updates with United for the summer. Or what? How you feeling about it?
I really like Cunha. I like Mbeumo. Sesko was the big one today. You know, it's a lot of fucking money for 22. That's unproven, but he's played over 200 career games and scored 100 goals. So Liverpool's like a TK for 90, and you know they were saying that's a really good business. But now United are involved with high money. They're like, oh, he might not be good enough. So I don't know. I mean,
Didn't Liverpool got loads of shit
but everyone's been like, yeah, he's going to be a generational talent, which he is. I think TK is fantastic. I love the United. But Sesko kind of fits the mold we're moving towards. Like he's 6'5", he's good, plays 2-touch off his back.
Can't ask strike a ball as well.
From anywhere. Like his finishing is going to get better. He's missed some easy chances, but he scored some absolute worldies. So yeah, just all my stocks now sold on Hoyle. I think it's an upgrade, Sesko.
I mean, you got to think like I was gonna say, like the market's just madness now. Like it's been ruined for years. So like for me, and they always do it in euros if you're buying from a European team as well. So it would be like, oh, like United paying 90 million, but it's like euros. But like for a young attacker, striker, midfielder, like that's where we're at right now. Like 90 is not anything crazy anymore. It's pretty like standard, especially when you look at like someone like Isak and Wirtz. Like for like Wirtz, it's like he's like generational, like could be the next big thing. So it's like you're looking at over 100. If you're taking a gamble and you're paying 80, 90 million these days, that's just kind of where we're at, and it's probably only going to get worse.
Sky Sports, fuck off. That's got such United agenda. It's so funny. Every transfer United have, it's whatever they're paying plus the add-ons on the screen, and everyone else is just their base fee.
That's funny. I think didn't we pay 80 something for Darwin Núñez to find out?
Yeah, 85 million euros, I think it was. But I've seen he's linked with AC Milan now, and they might accept 50 million. I don't know if it was pounds or euros, but I know, but I don't think he wants to go Saudi. Like he's only 26, isn't he? I think he's a bit young to be going out there, but he wants to stay in Europe.
I know, like it has turned into a little bit of a joke, like how bad he was, some of the misses and that. But when he first came in, he was scoring some goals. Like he scored some important goals for Liverpool. So yeah, I mean it was There's a lot of money. Probably hasn't necessarily lived up to the hype, but I mean, if you look back at some of his highlights when he first came in, he looked sharp. You know, scoring goals. Like we just talked about Newcastle. Remember that game against Newcastle where he single-handedly won the game.
I'm kind of like, I'm intrigued to see how Coquerez does as well now, because no people come out of Portuguese league striker-wise has not been prolific. Like Nunes scored loads of goals over there. He's not done great for Liverpool. That was another one that left Portugal, went somewhere and didn't do well at all. So I'm interested to see how he does.
He did play in England before as well. He like never got a game for Brighton, I don't think, did he? And who else did he play for? Was it the Championship he played?
Coventry, yeah, he played.
So yeah, I'm interested as well. Like it looks like he'll be a good player for him, and I think there's like a lot of good signings this summer that I'm kind of excited to see. So, but like I think for Newcastle as well, I like if Isak wants to go and they want to get rid of him, I don't understand why they don't try and get like a deal and get Nunes, like 100 million Nunes, or like Liverpool probably give 100 million Nunes. Like if they're desperate for a striker, he could do a job for him. Like he could have a good season. Like he's prem proven. Like I mean, he's not like prem proven in terms of like he's been bagging 20 goals, but like he'll score you a couple. And he proved against them when we had 10 men when he bagged both of those goals that you just talked about, Mark, that he can be clinical when he wants to be. And maybe he just needs like a run in the team, like because he's never really been that like star striker for Liverpool. Like so maybe if he does play every game, it's like, look, you know, like there's no pressure on you, just play, do your thing kind of thing. He could do well for him.
They're gonna need someone, aren't they? I mean,
Yeah.
missed out on a few targets, so I mean, if Isak does go, then
is he free now?
yeah,
Like someone could get him for free. That's madness. Remember when he was like going to be like next big thing when he first broke for Everton, and they were like, oh, he could, you know, could be a big time striker. He just never really made it. He's just injured all the time.
yeah, injuries have struggled to that. Didn't they?
I want to say on Newcastle. No, I lied to you. I don't want to say Newcastle. Before we go into Newcastle, back to you, Dan Yatesy, because you two are on the conversation. Liverpool's transfer market this summer, best ever.
I think it's decent. And they've done a very, very good, good recruiting, and you know, it's the well-run club. You know, they're not spent for years and didn't need to. And now they're like, right, we can drop $500 million. You know, because Isak, it's going to be $500 million they spent, but the net spend's probably going to be about 150 after everything, and that's how they've rolled it. And that's something that everyone's kind of like, well, Newcastle fans again, especially PSR shit, can't do this, can't do that. They are the richest club in the world. They just can't spend because they don't bring it up for revenue, right? Liverpool have ended the stadium. They've got more match day revenue. Just signed a brand new deal with Adidas. Like that's the reasons why they're allowed to spend. Same United, we're fucking $1 billion in debt. So we generate that much income, we can still afford to spend 200 million in the season and be PSR compliant.
We'll go into PSR in a second though, but Mark or Bob, who wants to take this? As Dan says, I think without selling Elliot, who's on the chopping block, Nunes, and there's somebody else, Diaz, I think they've just gone. We still only be 250 million in the transfer market. Ain't too shabby, is it?
No, and I think it's funny. You look at like Liverpool haven't spent, and we spend big in one window, but if you look at how much we've spent, like Chelsea are still not that far behind us. Like Chelsea have still spent big, United have still spent big, but like I think it's because Liverpool are doing well now that they spend big. It's kind of like the lights on them. Like Chelsea have spent like $1 billion over the last few years, but they've not really been that good. So it's almost like no one cares because it's kind of like, whatever. Like, you know, you make fun of Chelsea here and there, but it's like, if Chelsea were winning the league every year, they'd be getting so much shit for they'd be getting so much shit for what they're doing. But because it's like I've just seen that they want to sign Garnacho and
they've just signed their 49th player in 4 seasons.
Mate, have you seen that? That
Everyone they brought in.
No, they said something about Chelsea signing the four-time player. Liverpool signing four-time players ago. Was Peter Crouch in 2005?
Yeah, and United's was like
Yeah,
Ander
once it was Ander
Herrera or
Herrera.
something.
That's mental.
49 players in 4 seasons. There's something
That's
not
crazy.
right about Chelsea, by the way.
It's weird. Like the
Loopholes
amount
for
of
something.
the amount of wingers that they have, and the fact that they still want to get Garnacho and Xavi Simons. It's like at the minute you already have way too many. Like I just don't understand it. But like, yeah, they've gone through, like you say, all the loopholes. Like they sold the women's team to themselves. Like they're doing like doesn't make any like hotel like doesn't make any sense. Like these things are probably like loopholes that are gonna get fixed in the coming years because probably no one's tried them before and they didn't realize. But like, yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Mark, who has to go for Liverpool?
Who has to go?
Has to go.
I mean, I think it's time for Nunes. He like endears himself to the crowd. He's one of the fan favorites because he always works hard. Just I think the lack of being clinical has cost them, and it's probably time for him to move on. To obviously to be replaced with someone like Isak would be unbelievable. And I think for himself, Harvey Elliott probably has to go as well. I really like him. He's a good player. He can be frustrating at times, but especially bringing the likes of Verts in, like Rio and Gamoa coming through the team, I think.
So well.
I think, yeah, Harvey probably has to go for his own good. Like, it'll be nice to keep him around because he's someone that can come on and have an impact on a game, but just for his own career, I think he's at an age now, is he 22, where the best thing for him would be to, go to another team, whether it's another Prem team or, even going abroad. I think Tyler Morton went to Leon. It was.
Yeah.
I think I read before that RB Leipzig reached out to Liverpool and are talking about Harvey Elliott, so it looks like that could be a possible destination, and that'll be
That'd
like
be great for him.
maybe Klopp pulling some strings.
I think he'd kill it in Germany. I think he'd do. I mean, I think he's a good player. I think he'd do it wherever he went.
He's a great player.
But he's just not going to break in and hold down a place in Liverpool, is he?
He reminds me of far better player of Harry Wilson. Just came at the wrong time. Like if he was 5 years earlier, he probably would have broken in that squad. Harvey the same thing. Probably 5 years earlier, he probably can cement himself in that team and grow up with it. Do you know what I mean?
What about if Liverpool don't get Isak? That's what I'm kind of thinking. I think the whole Nunes thing might be seeing how Isak goes, because if we don't sign Isak and we sell Nunes, like obviously with the whole Jota thing as well, like we've lost Jota, Diaz, Nunes. We've obviously brought in a Katike and Wirtz, but I feel like we would probably need someone else because I think Case is going to go as well. I don't think he's going to stay. He wants to.
I actually think that I'm not convinced that they're going to sell Nunes or in a hurry to sell Nunes. I cannot. I cannot. I think the Nunes has now become the Jota replacement in house. I think if we obviously, if we had Jota, I think Nunes does go, but I think the Jota situation kind of changes a lot of things, and without being too, what's the word? Without ill sensitive, like I actually see SR and the money in and money out. I think FSG can still record the loss of Jota literally as a loss. So the need to sell players to make money or make room, I think it just pays over for for Darwin to stay. I wouldn't be surprised if he stayed and they signed Isak.
You think you're going to get Isak?
They're going to need to do something, aren't they? I mean, obviously the 110 million got rejected, but if he's not happy, like why not? Why not catch in?
It's a weird situation. I think like Newcastle, that money's massive for them to be able to go and re-spend it. Because it's not. You say you buy a player for 100 million, you don't lose that 100 million. It's over the years you have it. So the contract. So like, say they have a 5-year contract, you're only losing 20 of that the PSR, which is, they're holding out for 150. But if we get Sesko, they don't get anyone. Is there a way that they say to Isaac, hey, we'll give you a new contract for 200 grand a week, or whatever it is, 100 million buyout clause next season, spending one more year here?
Yeah, I think he'll somehow be convinced to stay, at least for one more year.
Almost like Bob's idea as well, like including Nunes as part of it, even if it was like he went on loan or something for the season, because they're going to be desperate for a striker, and every other team's going to know that. So any strikers that are still available, they're going to put the price up. So even if
I think that's why the market's so massive as it is for strikers too, because there isn't any. Like, there's no genuine number 9s other than your Haaland. You know what I mean? Sesto could be one. Isak's one. Don't Samu from Porto, I mentioned him today in the group. I think he's a good number 9, but other than that, I don't see anyone really who's just like setting a little lie who's up there, and it's all a bit more false 90 and.
Perez might
Perez.
be. I've not really watched him that much.
Vlahovic maybe from Juventus, because apparently they're just bidding off his contracts and letting him go. I was asking for him to come because we need a midfielder. We need somebody in that midfield. I wanted Vlahovic or Colomboani alone. Cumulin from Sporting, the holding midfielder, and then a new keeper. That was my big request.
Yeah, see, fucking Paul Pogba's back available now, lad. You probably drop 100 million on him, bring him back.
100 million and let him go for free again.
He signed for someone, didn't he? Is it
Monaco?
Monaco, that's right.
Saying on Isaac, my biggest worry for Newcastle actually was Isaac putting in that transfer request or making it known that he's unhappy and trying to force a move. And I think obviously Newcastle should be trying to convince him to stay, and especially so close to the season. I'm worried that he forced his hand to make it happen, but also if you look, I think Danny kind of touched on it, start coming in. The transfer progress for Newcastle has been shambolic.
Mate, they've been a shit show. They found.
When you sat there with Isak and say, "Hey, stay here, I want you for one more year," and he's looking around saying, "To play with who?" It's tough, especially when you are sold. I mean, there's probably some contact being with Liverpool and Isak's representative and be like, "Look, this picture we're building. Here's a project we're building." Words come out said, "I dipped everybody as soon as I heard the project at Liverpool." Yada yada yada. I mean, it's a tough sell for Newcastle to convince Isak to stay when they've had such a shambolic transfer window.
But the thing is, like, the whole Liverpool thing came about like weeks and weeks ago. Like, Liverpool went to them and said, we're interested in Isak before Ekitike, and Newcastle.
Blacked out, basically, didn't they?
Yeah, they like tried to play it off, and then I don't know if they were trying to play some mind games of like, okay, we know you want Ekitike, so we're gonna like go for him, or whether he was gonna be like a backup, but like that backfired. And then they've just like taken so long to go after Sesko. Like they've been like thinking about putting an offer in for, I've been seeing it for like at least a week or two, I feel like. And like, they finally put an offer in, and then it's like, all right, well, now United are in a good position. They decide they want to go for him as well. Like, and that, like, it's just gonna like the season starts like what, in a week, 2 weeks.
The best thing about the Sesko one from my perspective is Newcastle did that. Obviously, they knew Leipzig knew that they wanted to strike because they were Ekitike, right? So they've come in and bid 75 million plus 5, right? United have gone, we're not going to put a bid in until we know Sesko wants to come to us. We've changed that tact on the way that we're doing things now. And then Newcastle then again went 80 plus 5. Like, without even being rejected. There was a lot of times they've maybe been rejected. They just bumped their offer up to 80 plus 5, thinking, oh yeah, we'll get that. United have come in 5 million lower, and it's going to get accepted.
I've not heard of like teams like doing what, like, because Liverpool did the same with Isak, where we said, they contacted Newcastle and said, we'll put an offer in if Isak wants to come to us. And then United had done that, and I'm like, is that like the new thing to do now, where it's like you don't want it? Yeah,
Like
yeah,
tapping up, didn't it?
it is. It's like, well, if he wants to come to, you kind of just put that like groundwork
I think
in.
the
It's
way they
like,
get around these things is intermediaries. Intermediaries, is that how you say it? Intermediaries. There's no ruling that you can't pay someone to go and speak to said agent and move to your club. So that's going to change.
They're definitely talking to his
I mean,
representatives.
we said we weren't going to put a bid in for him unless we knew Sesko wanted to come to Man United. First thing this morning, there's a bid gone in. He wants to come to Man United.
I was looking. Wissa has returned to Brentford training as well. He was linked with them, yeah, and he was on strike for training, but he went back to join the team.
Man, some people do that,
And
isn't it?
so
but that's the thing with Isak now as well. I think because now he's gone back to training and he's back in the team, he's more likely to stay now because he's back in the team and he's probably going to feel like, okay, like, maybe I don't want to like make this worse than it is. And they might convince him and give him a new offer, like you said. So I don't think he's going to force himself out as much. Before, when he was like in Sociedad or wherever he was, like they're doing the pre-season tour, it's like, okay, you can kind of, I think he had a go at forcing himself out and it didn't kind of work. Newcastle have stayed pretty strong and been like, we're not going to sell you unless we find someone else. Like they have the money, I know, for PSR and stuff. Maybe, it could help them if they get rid of him. But
They put in 80 million offer for Sesko. They can spend it.
as the relationship with the fans, though, like think about it. If it was, I'm trying to think on United,
Imagine it was like Salah for Liverpool.
yeah, and like said he wanted to go somewhere, and he's been.
I don't know. I think they'll open him back up with open arms because the biggest problem Newcastle have got about Newcastle is you've got to live in fucking Newcastle. That's one of their problems. You're trying to compete against a London-based club, Manchester-based clubs, or Liverpool. 3 cities, the 3 main cities in the fucking country. No one wants to live in Newcastle.
Yeah, or go live in Scotland.
You might as well. You might as well live over the border and just fucking come.
I heard getting a boat from Newcastle to Sweden is dead easy. That's what I heard. I think Isak scored 15 goals. Nobody gives a fuck about this.
I think they'll do. I think they'll upgrade his contract and say, "Here's 100 million end of the season, and you can go."
And if it goes the other way, Liverpool play Newcastle at the end of August, so that could be.
I'm gonna say, I bet you they're gonna wait until after that game. They're gonna sit out injured, and then he'll sign the next day after Newcastle play
That wouldn't
Liverpool.
surprise me either. Is that when the transfer shuts?
It's right at the end of August we play.
That would not surprise me either.
But I think for Liverpool, like if we didn't get Isak, I'd be disappointed because obviously, like if you get Isak, you're looking at could win everything potentially. Like very unlikely to happen, but like that's a team that can go win a Champions League, win a Premier League. Like if he doesn't come, I think Ekitike is going to be decent, and I think he'll get his shot. And I still think attacking wise, we'll still be a decent team. And I honestly think we need to focus defensively anyway. Like if Kanate or Van Dijk get injured, we don't really have anything there. Like Gomez is never going to be that guy. We've just sold what's his name to Bayer Leverkusen. Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa's gone. We're linked with Gehi. Like I think that'd be a fantastic signing. His contract's up next year, which is why we don't want to spend. I think Palace want like 50 mil for him, and like Liverpool don't want to pay 50 million for someone's contract that's going to go. Kanate could go to Madrid next year. Like I think the centre back position, like we need to look into it. And I think we've been so distracted with the Isaac thing that it's like we need another centre half. Like that's going to be a big thing. Like I was watching the game the other day, and it was Van Dijk wasn't playing. It was Kanate and Endo at the back. And it's like, what I mean? Like it's going to be Endo or Gravenberch playing centre half. And you saw what happened to Gravenberch when he played centre half last game of the season. He got straight red after about 5 minutes.
I think the Marcus Gay deal is waiting on feeling out where Konate is with spending money. 2, I don't think Marcus Gay is as good or as easy with signing as we hope we are. I think it's easy to sign Isak from Newcastle than Gay from Crystal Palace. Only, and I read someone today about it being a World Cup year. I mean, Gay wants to be playing every game, every minute he can to prove himself to be in the World Cup squad, and he's starting probably. I think he had a fair shot to start for England, so he don't want to come and sit the bench behind Van Dijk and Konate this year. Maybe next year, but like not
He's another
this
player that rejected Newcastle as well.
Yeah, you've got to go. Like, you don't want the same thing to happen that happened with Trent. So you've got to go to Canati now and be like, all right, we're going to offer you a deal. Are you going to accept it or not? And if he doesn't accept it, then you bring Gehi in and Canati is backup. Like, do you know
that's
what I mean?
fair.
Like, and then Canati, you have him for the year, and then he goes for free. It's like,
Well, we'd argue then, is Gay good enough to win the Premier League over
I think he's
Konate?
class. I think he's class.
Yeah, I think he's up there with Canati level for sure.
Yeah, I think he's better on the ball than Kanate as well, because Kanate does some stupid stuff when he's got the ball sometimes. He's just fast and physical,
I would
but
say
he
his
does a lot of
recovery
stupid
is insane.
stuff. Yeah. But like he goes up for a corner and he's an absolute donkey. He's got a 50p head. Like, when was the last time he had a header that was on target? It's crazy. Like, when he goes up, some of the stuff he does. Did you see that in the friendly the other day, that like bicycle kick he tried to do? I'm
I
like,
did
what
not
are
see
you
that.
doing?
What was it doing, Bill?
That was
He played Bilbao twice, like 2 different teams.
Yeah. Second team
Like,
first.
I looked on like live score. I was like, Liverpool played Bilbao all they won, and then I was like, wait, there's another. They're playing now.
Yeah.
Good way of doing it. Good way of, yeah, good way of doing it, to be fair, because then like your second team gets a whole 90 pretty much, and then your first team gets, because it is like annoying. Like, we got the FA Cup, sorry, the Community Shield next week against Palace, and it's like, if you've got Salah playing I know Salah's fit, but like, you want him to play 90 before that, and not like 45, and then you know,
They did it last year, the year before. Yeah, they did it last year, the year before. Yeah. I've seen them do that before, yeah. Because the same issue happened with them with no fans in or something when they played back-to-back games. So I remember that being a thing. So staying on Newcastle quick before we move off of them. PSR, bit of a shit show for
I
them.
mean, I don't think it's a shit show. I think it's just they're not a big brand yet. I think they could be, and then they're getting money from going to the Champions League. They've finished 5th, was it last year? They're a big club. But they're not like just knocking on the door. They need some big sponsorship brand deals to be able to take them over the edge. Like, I saw one today, I think it was, that because my algorithm's now all Newcastle because I was trolling the fuck out of them. There's that. It's signed a 4-year deal with Guinness for 4 million. Like, it's fuck all for a Premier League team. You know what I mean? Where United and Liverpool are signing 10-year contracts for 100 million on kit deals and shit like that. Yeah, I think that's their problem. Like, they need to be getting on the financial side of things, and I don't think the PSR is a big problem. They spent 50 million on Alanga. They're trying to spend 80 million on Sesko, so they can spend.
They honestly need to take a leaf out of Man City's book when they first got the money. Like, they couldn't really go and sign the top class players of the time. They kind of built, and then they got better, and they got a little bit better every year, sign more players, and then eventually when they win the league, obviously they get all the money in from that, and then they can kick on from there. I mean, are we gonna ever be at a point where Newcastle win the league? I don't know.
Man City did that legally, though, right? So
yeah. I mean, maybe Newcastle should just take the risk.
The rules are in place now because of all this stuff with what's come out with City. And if they get found guilty of any of the charges, there's going to be new rules put in place for.
If that ever happens.
Yeah, I know. I think there was that Masters guy who's run the Premier League. They asked Rebecca Law asked him the other day when it was on TV, are we any closer to having a decision on these 115 charges of Man City? And he was like, I can't divulge in any information of that right now. So that's still nowhere near the answer. Done.
Well, they got the money to just get the best lawyers and just keep like dragging it on until the Premier like, all right, whatever, we'll just like drop it. I don't think anything's going to come of it, which is absolutely ridiculous.
It's sad when you look at Everton and Nottingham Forest as well, and I know they didn't end up going down or anything, but
Like
they were
Sheffield
running.
United got points taken off them last year as well, didn't they? For something similar, I think. Like when they're in the Championship, like yeah, like I mean that Everton thing just came out of nowhere as well.
Got hammered for that, yeah. Well, so PSL has to be a good thing because I should be, I think, more stringently enforced because I was going to bring up Sheffield Wednesday and a complete shit show. I don't know, fucking 6 months, probably even more. It has been for them. They'll be lucky if they even have a club come 2 weeks time. PSL has to be important, surely, right?
Yeah, I don't know what the regulations are in terms of like in the Championship or League 2. You know, you've got to live within your means, especially as a smaller club in the Champ and lower. You have to. Like this guy that's in charge of Chef Wednesday just fucks them over.
Fuck them
I
over
think the
big time.
last 4 months they've not been paid for 3 of them. Shit like that.
People just walking out of the club.
Yeah, the gaffer left 2 weeks ago. I think I vaguely saw a video on TikTok as well, and it was like manager left 2 weeks ago. The starting 11 team that they had at the end of last season, was one player left from it.
Yeah. People walking out of their contracts, just like fuck it, just keep the money, don't give a shit. They can use one stand right now because it's been closed down by the government for health and safety reasons. It's a complete mess. I even feel the same way with Reading, because they had a bit of a shit show year or last 2 years in terms of surviving, selling off all the assets to survive. I think that I think I'll put something in place, but to make sure that the owners that we are bringing in look after the club. And I don't know how they do the due diligence to make sure that when you buy a football club, you have the right intent in place.
All that's in place because of when the Glazers took over United. Like because I've said this before and probably sound like a broken record, but they spent none of their money to buy Man United. It was all leverage from the bank, and then they put the debt onto Man United. That's why we're a billion in debt. Well, now Jim Ratcliffe coming in, he had to pass tests to become a fit and proper like chairman or owner of a club. So yeah, I don't know what's happened at Chef Wednesday, but it's just the oldest clubs in the country. Shit to see.
I think it's shit to see anytime. Like, that's one thing I struggle with in the US, where owners can just pick up franchises and just move them to different city. Like I think at least at home, and I think it is true here too. But like, you invest so much from the community into those clubs, franchises, whatever, and for them to be stripped away from bad ownership, just running your fucking team to the ground, or someone picking up the franchise and pissing it off 3,000 miles across the country. That's just wild to me that's a thing in football. Or
Probably speak
any
it.
sport.
You can probably speak on it better than any of us for the Wrexham side of things, you know, because I know when they first took over, there was the worry that it was gonna, you know, they were gonna just buy it. It was gonna be a toy for a couple of years, and then they were gonna leave them in debt. And I mean, fair play to Rob McElhenney and Ryan Reynolds. I mean, they've stuck with it, and look at the position Wrexham right now.
Mark's jumping through my notes here, just one step.
Morecambe.
Just teeing you.
We're in the same boat as well. Did you see that?
Yeah,
Morecambe are in
I
the
saw.
same boat there. I remember seeing something. I've just pulled it up now. That they're 105-year-old football club, and they're on the verge of shutting down.
The only thing I've seen from it is like people complaining online saying that all like Sky Sports and that are looking at is like either going to Liverpool and you've got like a club here that's been around for 100 years and might be going bust, but like, they're not they're not doing any news on it or anything.
I think there should be their own little channel. You know what I mean? Like nothing like this gets reported on your Sky Sports News. That should just be a it is basically just a Premier League reporting channel. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's shit to see, man.
So Bury's a local club
Yeah,
to you, innit?
so I live right in between Rochdale and Bury. Yeah, they fucked up Bury, and now they're back in, trying to work their way up. And that was a big rigmarole as well, like trying to get the license net of Bury FC again. The team, the AFC Bury or whatever they were called, that were doing it, trying to get a license for that, for the name. They won't do it because they went bust. But yeah, it's it. Again, like I wouldn't want to be a football owner. Whether I had so much money in the world, like it's just that you're pissing money at the wall basically for not a lot of return other than if you're a fan of that club.
Yeah.
You can't tell me if you had stupid money, you want to be the owner of Manchester United.
Maybe Tranmere or something
Probably
like that.
a lower team.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't want to do Man United. Fuck that.
I'd take Manchester City back to the West Prem.
City, here we go.
They actually, when you talk about Bury, they actually changed. So they have like, isn't there a supporters club in Manchester as well? The big sport. No, it's not Bury. It's going to be. What was the original name for Manchester United? Isn't that a club, the sports club that's made from something?
The green and gold.
Am I
FC
right?
United.
Am I off here? I don't know. I'm trying to how you help me out here to make sense of it.
FC United is
FC
what
United. They were the ones that there was a big supporters club, but they fucked off and made their own club.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Same thing with MK Dons and Wimbledon, right? AFC Wimbledon. So like Bangor City done the same thing. So new owner come in, ran into the ground, drop down the leagues, keep on getting paid, not paying rent on the field, blah blah blah. And then the supporters are gone and still out of their own club on the other side of town, and it's don't quite the same name, but it's pretty close, and they're taking over the badge and what have you. Yeah, they're trying. It's sad that this kind of stuff happen, and I don't know what point you guys went off to because my father-in-law called me in terms of Wrexham, like yeah, before Robert Ryan, the supporters owned it, and they bought it off the then owner who was running the club into the ground to demolish the racecourse and put apartment buildings up to sell them off. You know what I mean? So there has to be a way to preserve these for the community. I don't think it has to be big time and have the whole Wrexham story. I mean, I think the Wrexham story is fantastic, but like
No,
just having a community structure that's going to last.
yeah, as long as it's sustainable, you know what I mean? Like living at home and coming from a small town, you obviously I wouldn't see United and watch the games stuff, but United are win, couldn't get tickets. I go and watch Bury, I'll go and watch Rochdale. Just because those actual supporters of the teams in that town, that's what they live for each week. You'll work 9 to 5 or whatever you do, nights or whatever, to then go and get smashed and watch your team play on a Saturday. That's what back home is. It's how it is. And to take that away from them, and because some guy can't look after the finances and probably not fit proper to run a club, is just asinine.
I also think that at this level, it's not about them looking after the finances. You can't tell me the money they have in the bank to buy a football club. They don't have the money to go and spend to look after the finances. They're just choosing not to. They're just choosing to run this team into the ground. Like it's not the same.
Or some people just looking at it as a business opportunity and like, how can I make money for myself? And they don't care about the club or anything like that. Like you said that, yeah, people building apartment complexes and stuff and knocking things down. Like they don't care about history or supporters. They just see a business opportunity.
which is what a lot of the American owners have done, coming in, and they probably don't even necessarily realize the risks of running a team into the ground, because like you said, and over here that they can just pick up a team and move it elsewhere, or there's no threat of relegation, or like obviously the finances can be run badly, you might lose a few players, but there's never any risk of, I don't think, dropping out of if a team's in the MLS. Like it would have to be incredibly bad. It's not like they're gonna lose all their players and get relegated.
I did see a
Yeah,
tweet today. The Saudi PIF who own Newcastle should
that would help a lot. Probably
fucking massive.
wouldn't
They
hurt.
become
Would
a
it?
problem, man.
I don't think. Just move him to Chester. They can take over Chester, can't they? And just play in the Chester ground. That's half in Wales and half in England. They'd be brilliant. That.
And the Chester Wrexham rivalry back.
Yeah, that'd be. No, I don't think it would be nice, but it'd be good. I mean, that's it. The only last thing I wanted to talk about, really, and we kind of transitioned well into it in terms of Mark mentioning the American owners. Tom Brady versus Wayne Rooney. What do you guys think?
I mean, Rooney doesn't fill you with full of charisma, does he?
Here's the thing, right? And you put the video in, but I was gonna say this in the group. Tom Brady probably doesn't realize or appreciate just how fucking good, just how good Wayne Rooney was, just how much of an impact he had on the English game, right? So he's just seeing this fella presenting at the front, and he's not exactly charismatic. He's not choosing the right words. He's asking someone else to come in and do it for him. But those players, they will already have like a certain amount of buy-in, even if Rooney might not be the best coach in the world. They'll already have that buy-in because of the respect that he's earned just through his Man United career, through his England career, just being such a good fucking football player that Tom Brady wouldn't necessarily know. I don't think.
Or at least appreciate. I'll be able to contextualize. I mean, I'm going to stay with you, Mark. Who is better, Tom Brady, American football, or Wayne Rooney at football?
I mean, has to be Tom Brady, though, isn't he? Because he's the best of all time, and
Jesus fucking Christ! I can't believe you did that.
it has to.
No,
It has
if you, I think I said this last year. I was telling Carabao, if you span the time that Tom Brady's actually on the field with the ball in his hands across his whole career, it's three seasons in the Premier League. Somewhat stupid.
That's funny, and that's a good fact. But that's the game, isn't it? And he was the best.
Don't get me wrong, he was great, but Rooney's the best English player we've ever had.
I think Rooney is well underrated, and I think
he's phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal.
I don't think I'm giving it to Tom Brady,
but because he never had that kind of brand, the way like Ronaldo does, the way Messi does now, like. I don't think it was much of a thing back then, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, when he was in like the height of his career. But as well, I think just, it was like David Beckham. And then I don't know if you can put anyone else in that celebrity footballer brand until.
Yeah, but I don't think that, I wouldn't say that's Wayne Rooney anyway. Like back to the Tom Brady v Rooney conversation. Like Rooney is not an icon for that kind of notion. Like he's not a celebrity. I don't think he's ever been a celebrity. Like he's famous because he's a really good football player. He's not a celebrity like Ronaldo, Becks, and all that kind of stuff. Like I don't think he would ever have a brand. Like I don't even know if Rooney even owns like other companies like Gary Neville does. Like I don't think he'd ever. Like he's a football player. He's gonna coach football. That's about it. There's like I'm not. There's no knock to him. I just don't think he is all of that. You know what I mean?
And that's why he didn't necessarily get the respect of Tom Brady. Like when he was talking in the car, he was like, "Our coach doesn't fill us with optimism" or something like that. Didn't even say his name.
Yeah. All right. So after watching that, and I've put this in group text before. Mark, I know you're biting it, so we'll go to Bob because he's being quiet. Bob, in our group of coaches, is there a better coach than Wayne Rooney right now?
I don't know. It's hard to say, isn't it? Because like at the level that he's at, it's like you have to be good, don't you? But like he's not done a good job anywhere he's been. So, but could any? I know, I'm not a coach, so I definitely couldn't. But could any of like you lot go and do a better job than him? Like I don't know. Like it's easy to look around and be like, yeah, you're all good coaches, but that's like I remember when I was younger, and it was when I signed for West Kirby, and like I thought I was like a really good player, and we went and played like a preseason game against Chester City, and like just watching them like play, I was like, oh my God, like you know what I mean? And they were in like they weren't even in League Two at that point. They'd just gone down to when they like they like went bust, and then like kind of came back in the Conference League, I think it was. And like I was looking around, I was like, mate, these lads are unreal, and they're not even like really getting paid to play or anything like that. Like when you look at like even going up to like League Two, League One, champ, it's like the level is just completely different. So I don't know. I would probably say no, because like him doing a bad job is probably still better than a lot of us doing like a good job. Like he's been coached by like Sir Alex Ferguson, and like his tactical knowledge must be unbelievable. He just isn't good at getting it across, or like he just doesn't have that charisma. Like you see, he's just boring, isn't he? Like I couldn't think of anything worse than sitting in a room with Wayne Rooney for an hour talking about tactics. Like I'd fall asleep. That doesn't mean that he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just not going to do it in a fun way and get it across. And you look at someone like, well, he's the guy that puts his arm around you, and he could get anyone in the room listening to him and talk. He could talk. Klopp tactics a lot of the time were just kind of like high press, kind of go for it. He didn't have like Guardiola like tactics of like right back. Later on, he did a little bit with Trent, but like Guardiola had that like right back coming in as like a midfielder and doing this and doing that, and like a lot of one-touch football. Klopp was just kind of, he'd get fast players, work hard. This is kind of what we want to do, and everyone was just like, yeah, like I'd run through a brick wall for you. Like you just can't really see that from Wayne Rooney. I think that's his problem, but.
Yatesy, 9-10 of the job is communication. Bobby just touched on it there, really. You can just fucking plug your way, fake it to make. Yeah. You're going to do a better job than Wayne Rooney.
In terms of the tactical knowledge, no chance. Like, he's fucking England's best player, United, one of United's legends, and top goal scorer, all that stuff. But in terms of like getting the team on side, I think I've got more charisma on my left toe than Wayne Rooney has in it. In a changing room. Like, is the whole thing I always think back to with Wayne Rooney is when he texted Rio, but he put it on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
Rio. Like, he's got no charisma, like no people skills whatsoever, and I think that's a strong point of my coaching is knowing who needs an arm around the shoulder and knowing who needs a rock with the arms. So I think I could do a good job in that. I think if Tom Brady walked into my tactical analysis with Geneva or wherever, but this knows what he's doing, this guy. Would I be able to replicate on the field? I don't fucking know. Probably not.
I think so. I would say that I would be 1,000 times better than Wayne Rooney coaching at the high school girls soccer level. But I think that's also my ceiling as well. So yeah, you put me in at Birmingham City, then the players aren't buying it.
Mark, I don't think that's your ceiling, pal. You're going to live in this ceiling forever because you don't want to break through it.
That's your ceiling because you put a metal roof there.
Yeah. You'll be fine.
Well, skylight and just climb out, Mark. You'll be fine.
I think for me, actual charisma, just can't speak English, so I'd be probably in the same boat as Wayne Rooney. So okay, might as well stay what I am. I'd be asking for translators to come in. Can you help me out? Funny. All right, boys, that's it. That's all I got for you.
Thanks for watching this week's episode of the Old Fashioned Football Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with all your friends. We'll be back next week with more nonsense.